I thought that we could be something that is bigger than the night. I owe this to every day that made a river through the night. Tushakubali na wesi kimbizani na si westi time yangu weni chani yangu na unanicheza wewe wanicheza nasubira sinanga wewe wanisinyanga wanitesa.
Good afternoon, family. Sun rising. 8 minutes past the top of the hour. Welcome to the Pan African Bliss. My name is Joe B. It's a Thursday. Already setting the mood for we know what's up today. You know what it is today. This is the Pan African Bliss. Yes, karibuni sana. Good afternoon, Grand Rising. Hope you guys are doing amazing. We're gonna do much more of that tonight. Shout out to Nikita Caring with Pendana Nawe, literally an amazing piano vibe coming all the way from the 254. My name is Joby. To the first time listeners on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, on the radio station, returning listeners, Spreaker, Spotify, wherever you're catching this live from, on whatever stream, welcome to another conversation. As we get to talk about much more of what is happening in Tanzania, of course, much more news and updates are still developing from the country. The internet is still not back up, but the people woke up and slept demonstrating, and the fight is still on. They're saying no reforms, no election. If you won't listen to us, we're not going to listen to you. We don't want no dialogues. And of course, remember yesterday I talked about and read the speech that Samia Suluhu gave that was late in the evening, talking about how the young people should calm down, go to the polling stations, vote, which they destroyed, so which polling stations, I don't know which you're talking about. And of course, telling them she wants to have a dialogue with them. So they said, no reforms, no election, no listening to us. We're not going to listen to you either. But apart from that, we're going to talk about other more news and updates coming from Kenya. There's a lot of cases. This is coming from Twitter. A lot of people are raising concerns about losing young people to cardiac arrest and blood clots. And if you know, you know. We're going to get into deeper conversation of that. We know why this is happening. We know the effect of this. We're not going to get into much details, but I'll update you on the few information that personally I have due to YouTube, not to YouTube, but due to us not to us abusing YouTube rights. But also we're going to talk about more news and updates also of what is coming from other countries. This is like why is my screen not queuing? We're going to talk about much more also coming from Nigeria. This is in Sudan, where the British weapons were found in Sudan. And of course, this has sparked a debate online. But on our major conversation, we shall be focusing on the rise of the CS. This is the C-section births, which actually have become like a big business in Africa today, and looking at how it has affected so many women because women are not safe at all. Before we get to continue, a quick reminder as always, kindly rush to the Google Play Store, download our app if you want to listen to much more of these amazing vibes. Tonight we have the culture show as always. We don't have the Africa Today show on Thursday. It's music session, and of course, you're always free to request your jam, whether you are at work, whether you are in the traffic, whether you are at home, whether you want to vibe from, or whether you want to vibe on. We got you covered. Don't be listening. I said Keith is always lying about me not playing requests. I'm always playing the goddamn request. But anyway, a quick update on what you can also get after downloading our app, apart from just listening to the music, which is the first segment. Once you open the app, you have the radio. But on your left, we have the 3 lines, which takes you to literally the main website where you can explore the page, look at what the previous shows are. Maybe if you want to catch up with them, and also through the app itself, it takes you to other streaming platforms of ours like BitChute, Rumble, and so much more. But apart from that, your health is your wealth. So we have amazing organic supplements. Kids say these supplements are working amazing. So you need to try them. Get yourself some Moringa, CMOS, multivitamin, ashwagandha, brain and focus, beetroot. But for me, as always, brain and focus works nicely when we're about to put critical thinking into this. So if you want to acquire much more of brain boosts,
unlock your full
way to
potential
focus.
with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just 1 capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Fuel your mind and achieve more right here with us on the Black Hot Fire Network, media of the 21st century. 4 minutes past the top of the hour. It's literally 2 p.m. right here in the 254 past 4 minutes. Let me know what's the time on your end for those who are just tuning in via YouTube, Rumble, BitChute. On the radio station, if you are listening via there, kindly you can go on the upper 3 lines again on the show page where you can actually feel free to leave your comments in case you have any opinion that you want to air regarding the conversations. But before we get into the serious matters, again, I came back with some bomboclat videos. Come on. Of course, this is concerning the Hurricane Melissa, which has affected and left so many Jamaicans in a very bad situations. We have Haitians, Jamaicans, Cubans, literally they all island people. And I bumped into another funny video personally. I just want to share before we get started. Like, just get to laugh with me. You know, life is not that serious. And I just love the way Jamaicans are showing that, not just them, but most of the black people, they don't take things serious. They just love to create humor out of everything. The same thing when you look at even the demonstrations of yesterday from Tanzania, there are people who just have hilarious videos while still on the demonstration. So I love the fact that, you know, we still get to enjoy life despite, you know, troubles, despite, hardships, despite oppression. We find our way of making ourselves happy. Look at this. I love this.
Man, son, only like what's up, bumbo clock.
He's doing, he thinks he's doing magic, man. Look.
Man, son, only like what's up, bumbo clock. Black out, drop off, I won't stop. Black. Lord God, look this. We can't believe this. Yo, the cat them flying. Jesus Christ. This now take the cat. Me have to duck. Hey, everybody look. See that, miss? Bombo clan. Bombo clan.
The cat was flying.
My side, you see that?
The first one was feeling like an avatar. The second one was what about us? Like as Hurricane Melissa forgotten about us. Then the third one is like the Catterfly. Then this one is the Bombo Club video. It's how unserious they are for me, man. It's never serious. It's never that serious. Laughing everything, man. It's never that serious. Find a way, figure out ways on how to make yourself happy in every trouble. Tafadhali. It's not that serious. So shout out to our Jamaican brothers. Shout out to George Guy. Shout out to Samuel. I hope again you guys are safe and your family and friends were not hit by Hurricane Melissa. And if so, I'm wishing you guys literally all the best in recovery. But shout out to Byron Scott. Hope you're doing amazing. Welcome to today's conversation as well. Hope you're doing great. And karibu sana. Let me share, literally, let me start with what is happening in Kenya. No, I'm going to start with what is happening in Tanzania, then come back to Kenya as we get into, since we're talking about health and what the C-section, or rather how the C-section surgeries, literally, which women now are being lied to that you can just give birth normally. You must go through C-sections, is putting majority of the women in Africa, to be specific, in danger. I think I've seen this also maybe affecting, there's a time I saw a very disturbing video on TikTok regarding the same thing. And of course, when you look at most of the Black women and being taken care of, white nurse or white women, the treatment is never the same. I know, and I'm not saying all hospitals have racism and everything, but I'm talking about, and based on what I've seen personally, there is just poor treatment, there's lack of consideration, they don't care about majority of the things, and your concern is just we've done what we could, pay the money and go, let the family take care of you type shit. But yeah, we have in Tanzania, where yesterday, of course, during the evening, again, I reported about the dialogue that Samia Suluhu was asking the young youths to have, and they have said no. Actually, I remember when we were winding up the show, I was showing kids some of the videos that were developing from the country, because they shut down the internet, but of course the people still are finding ways of sharing the videos online, on all that, on TikTok and other platforms. At the same time, they took control of the airport. We didn't have a clear video on that yesterday. We just had someone talking about it, but now there's a clear video of how they actually stormed Julius Nyerere International Airport yesterday, protesting against President Samia Suluhu's leadership and dictatorship, because this is not leadership, this is dictatorship. So let me share this, and then we're going to look at also how they went on still banning the places. Actually, the country is on fire. I've seen the US has warned its citizens to take care of themselves, and if possible, they're going to be evacuated in the country. Big number, man. This is a big number. This is, I'd say, close to what we had when Raila was dead, but this is a huge number. Wow, this is amazing. So that is one of the things that took place yesterday. The demonstrators were able to storm and completely took control of the Julius Nyerere International Airport. Personally, I've been there. It's such a pretty airport. I hope they didn't do any damages and all that there. It's really clean, very beautiful, functioning well. The services are best. We've taken Nish there a couple of times, me and Katie, when she used, when she was coming back and forth every time we meet up in Tanzania. And it's been really, really, it's a good airport. I can't compare it to what we have in Kenya. We always see our tourists complaining every time they get into the Kenyatta International Airport, because number one, when it's raining, the rooftops are leaking. People are not even well sheltered. it's just super crazy. The services are also pathetic. The people are rude, unlike what I've seen in Tanzania, Julius Nyerere. I just hope there's no damage in this, because this was created for your own benefit. This is nothing to do with Samia Suluhu. This is actually Magufuli's work with Julius Nyerere as well. So this should not be touched. I hope it wasn't. But on this other end as well, like I said, they didn't sleep. They slept literally despite the country issuing a curfew that is from 6 p.m. They still went ahead and demonstrated the whole night. Like I said, I've seen videos literally personally, like the whole night that have emerged, because I slept literally very late as well. And people were just burning petrol station again. The police stations also been burnt. It's been super, super chaotic. But this is also what they have said: no reforms, no elections. Oh Jesus, god damn shit. You don't wanna hear, I'm glad you guys don't even know. So that is great. That is crazy. That's a big goddess. They're literally saying they're not buying fear anymore. Fear is gone. Yeah, so that is what is happening. But remember, like I said, we also have the U.S. government, which has urged the citizens to take care of themselves. Let me get the article correctly. The U.S. Embassy in Tanzania has advised citizens to shelter in places, and this is Tanzania was thrown into chaos. That was, of course, yesterday that it was thrown into chaos as protesters over the recent general elections escalated in violent clashes across the country. In response to the unrest, the U.S. Embassy in Dar es Salaam has issued a security alert advising American citizens to shelter in place and avoid public gatherings. The demonstrations began with citizens expressing frustrations over what they described as political repression and the exclusion of key opposition candidates. But the protest quickly turned destructive in Dar es Salaam, and protesters reportedly destroyed ballot boxes and set vehicles on fire. Human rights group Amnesty International has confirmed that at least 2 people have lost their lives amid the unrest, and completing matters, authorities disrupt internet services nationwide, and a move which is described by Global Digital Monitor NetBlocks as a nationwide digital blackout. The shutdown has made it difficult for residents to internationally observe to access information in real time, which is a lie, because these are the same people who control the internet. So I feel like that is a big, big lie. They're actually the ones who shut down the internet because they know people right now are living also in a real-time media. We don't have to wait for you to come with your plane all the way from Europe for you to bring CNN and BBC to come and report for us what we can actually post for other people, go live on TikTok and other platforms and show them what is really happening in real time. So they're really lying about that as well. That is a big, big, big lie. Very big, big lie. And also adding that in response, the growing violence, there's no violence actually. Like, you've had only 2 people are dead. So, and which the soldiers, the military is on their side. It's on the people's side. And they're talking about, in response to the growing violence, the government imposed a curfew in Dar es Salaam and deployed military forces to help restore order. Meanwhile, the U.S. Embassy has urged citizens to remain in secure locations, aware of their surroundings, and monitor local media for updates. So that is what is happening. But as we get to move on to other matters, in case maybe you have any questions or maybe have more information as well regarding what is happening currently in Tanzania, you can let us know wherever you are listening to us from. But we have as well Kenya on the map, talking about concerns that have been raised after losing 3 close acquaintances to cardiac arrests and blood clots in just 2 weeks. And of course, someone said this is on Twitter, and the tweets are going viral as well. Someone needs to investigate why we are losing so many young people to cardiac arrest and blood clot. It is scary. I have lost 3 people I know in 2 weeks, and the question is, what is happening? And someone says on the comments, and if you ask Bill Gates, what does he say? So, of course, when you know, this is someone who knows what we know. Bill Gates is very much involved in this. And we go back to 2020, 2019, when so many people were being threatened. If you don't do this, if you don't do this, you can't travel. And of course, so many people also panicked. Remember, we had so many people panicking, trying to get out of the city, other rushing to the village because all the corona, you don't want corona to get onto you. People are caught up with the fear agenda, which worked very well. Some of the, I think, part of the conversation which we were discussing yesterday, why actually even this designed weather distractions, because they are designed, why these designed weather distractions actually are currently happening on repeat, is because again, like the guy was explaining very well, they monitored the fear, they monitored if people can accept what they were trying to bring, and some people actually, or majority, did say yes to this. Actually, majority of the people fell for this. As much as maybe other countries said no to lockdowns and all that, there were other things you are being forced to. You can't get access to this, remember, if you don't have the VACCINE. You can't travel if you don't have the VACCINE certificate, actually. Because I remember we're part of the people who were affected by that. But, and I was confirmed to have the COVID-19 at that particular time because I had a flu. They said, nah, I need to go take the, I'm not like, nah, we're gonna do this the easy way because I just have a flu. Those things you're telling me, I don't know. I just have a flu. There's just an outbreak of flu. That's all I know. But it's crazy because the same thing is going to happen if we're not careful. As much as, yes, I was saying there's a huge number of people now who are educated through TikTok, through platforms like Rumble, BitChute, have more information and access of information on what has been taking place, what the agendas are, why they are targeting you, why you end up being forced into all these new systems and the agendas they're trying to actually bring. So this is literally us. It's the question or the answer to the Kenyans, those who are seeking answers, is this is, you need to go back to 2020, 2019. What did you do? Did you bend down to the fear? Because if you did and took the VACCINE, these are the results. And I remember actually Keith was even educating us, it's going to take, not because people are expecting for it to be reactive very quick, and especially to maybe us black people, because the majority of the target again also it's us. The white people actually, it reacted on them very quicker than I'd say black people. I stand corrected. Maybe you can tell me yes or no. But I feel like white people, due to their weak immune systems, it reacted on them way quicker more than us. For us, it was either to take 2-3 years, and you can see now it's been literally 5 years. Even 5 years, it's possible. I mean, but blood clots, cardiac arrest takes you back to the conversations we've been having. So those are the answers literally I'd give any Kenyan who's actually seeking for an answer. But also someone else says on the comment, thanks, this is Pfizer, this is for Pfizer, this is Pfizer and this is Pfizer and Johnson. Exactly. There are people who understand it. Some people also say, work out, guys. Please, people should move on, at least walk more if you can't work out. This is nothing to do with the workout. These are people who took the VACCINEs and now it's catching up with them. And sadly, there are people who know, there are people who do not know. Someone says energy drinks causes cardiac arrest and blood clots. That is true. I need to stop taking energy drinks. Personally, I love energy drinks. I need to stop that. I've become kid with the Dr. Paperman. I
What?
need to stop
Who's drinking
taking
some
energy
energy drink?
drinks.
Are you crazy? Talk about me
Huh?
with Dr. Pepper. Energy drinks are 10 times worse than me, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. I saw you with one or two last weekend. They don't know. I know. I saw it. But anyway, Karibu Sana, how are you doing today?
Santa Sana. Man, it was so late.
You,
Shit.
you must, yeah, I bet you're just waking up.
Yeah, shit. Man,
Anyway, Karibu, we're talking about what is happening in Kenya as I move on into the next conversation, which is our main conversation. These concerns which are being raised by Kenyans on Twitter. This is after so many young people who are dying because of cardiac arrest and blood clots. And I'm saying, of course, we have the answers for this. We know
You
what
know,
this is all about.
you know what it is, Shelby.
Yeah, yeah. We
You
go
got
back
to
to
say,
2020, 2019.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, we go back
In
to 2020, 2019. And I was saying maybe you can agree to
2020,
disagree. I feel like
2021.
uh-huh. I feel like it caught up with white people quicker than the black people, those who
I
who
told you.
bended with the agenda because of
I told you.
their weak immune system.
Yeah, because your genetics. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so your voice is kind of far. We're hearing it's like you're on a on a jug on a it's like you're on a tank of water somewhere talking from a tank of water. That's what I can hear. But also someone says adds on the comment family planning which is including oral contraceptives, smoking vapes, immobility and not being physical active, obesity, pregnancy, use other performs. This is nothing to do with that. Maybe some of the things are contributing to that, but this is nothing to do with that. This is we're talking about blood clots. So people are just rushing on advising about the cardiac arrest. Yes, there are many things which cause a cardiac arrest, but we're talking about cardiac arrest and blood clots. They're not just dying because of cardiac arrest, they have blood clots. So again, go back, like someone has said, ask Bill Gates about it. He knows very well why this is happening. And then someone says Pfizer and Johnson. So go back to 2020, 2021, 2019. If you allowed your kids to take this, and because you fell for the fear, those who are traveling, you didn't have ways of talking to people to just give you the certificate, then you rushed for the fear to, you want to protect your kids, want to protect yourself before traveling. Because I remember for me and Katie, when we went to uh the one of the big hospitals in Kenya, that was Mbagathi Hospital. They sent us to Kenyatta Hospital. Then when we went to Kenyatta Hospital, Katie's test was done. She was okay. For me, I had a flu, and they said I have COVID, so I'm banned from traveling. I'm like, nah, I just have a flu. So what we're gonna do actually? Katie is good. I'm gonna find someone else who's gonna just give us this certificate for free and without us, doing all that, which was actually a very big process still, because you have to bribe people one here and there before you get the papers correct. But many people fell for the fear, took the VCCI and is trying to run away from the city or where corona is coming and all that. So these are the consequences. But on the main conversation about other consequences, we have Lynn Gugi, which is a part of my conversation today, and she's talking about how many women in Africa are being tricked into giving birth through CS. And we're gonna get into it as she explains literally why most of the doctors tend to do this, because this has become a very big business. Number one, CS is not cheap as well. They're just trying to, number one, not only take money from people, but lying to women that you can't push normally. What happened to that? And understanding also that we're dealing with a system that has also gotten rid of the middle women who could help women to give birth naturally. I think there was a time I did a whole show last year and showing some women, those who listen, or you, if you want to take your wife to when she's on labor, your woman is not supposed to be giving birth while lying on her back. She's supposed to be squatting. She's supposed to give birth on squatting. And also, we're just discussing, funny thing, we're just discussing right now with Christine, the safest way of giving birth is also the bath water, which is very expensive as well. Not so many people can afford that. But if we have these middle women who the white supremacy or this system, let me say, this system has called them witchcraft and bad people to the society, they'll be helping us and making more women deliver in a safe way. Because I'd not also advise CS, you know are not. So let's get into it as you get to understand much more.
Across Africa, more women are giving birth through cesarean section or CS than ever before. But are these surgeries medically justified? The answer, according to the African Journal of Reproductive Health, is no. There was an analysis that was carried out in 2022 that found out that up to 43% of C-sections in urban hospitals across sub-Saharan Africa were not medically justified. And that's where the big question begins. If thousands of African women are going under the knife without medical need, what's really driving this rise? Is it medicine or money? According to the World...
It's money. Number one, this is a system of money. Just to answer you, Lynn, as we continue. Personally, of course, I'll agree it's a system of money because this is a system that, as again, like I'm talking about the middle women, we have also the traditional medicines. Most of the people don't know how to go back or don't even know traditional medicines are way safer than, these synthetic drugs. Synthetic drugs more actually hard. And I feel like synthetic drugs just keep you dependent on them because they don't really get rid of the problem completely. They just maybe ease away the pain. But when you talk about natural drugs or natural herbs, literally these are things you're given. Number one, of course, also with the synthetic drugs that days and everything else, you're supposed to take them. But this actually, number one, they cleanse you everything that is toxic in your body, and you'll experience it, you'll go through it, and you'll feel the change. With synthetic drugs, personally, I hate medications. I barely personally finish my medication. That's one problem I have, and since childhood, I used to be those kids when you're given medication, you throw them under the bed, and I'd be caned for that, and I'll still do it because I'm like, this shit, number one, is very bitter. Why does it have to be so bitter? It's just, unswallowable. It's plus it makes you feel, if not sleepy, you're dizzy, you have nausea, all types of effects. With the natural herbs, the only effects you're gonna have majority of the times, if not diarrhea, it could be vomiting. But this is actually one of the methods of cleansing your system. It's not just healing you, it's part of the cleansing of your system. So this is a money making system. So they're not here to help people, but to make money off it. Because if it was to help people, you'd have saved many numbers of women, from this years, because you also have so many big percentage of women who die under the C-section, unlike the women who give birth normally. But now you get to the hospital because they want money from you, and the government, again, doesn't pay them well. They, you are in a bad condition, so we're going to have to put you in this, which is also expensive. So it's a money-making system.
World Health Organization, the safe range for C-sections in any country should be between 10 and 15%. Beyond that, World Health Organization says there is no evidence that more surgeries lead to better outcomes for mothers or babies. But in reality, Africa's rates are shooting far above that limit.
Yeah, we just said a Ugandan female artist who died together with her baby, under the C-section. Just this week.
In South Africa, studies published in the Lancet Global Health and the South African Medical Journal in 2020 report C-section rates of 70 to 80% in the private sector, among the highest in the world. I'm going to attach a couple of links for you in the description so you can go through all of these studies. And then we go to Nigeria. There was a 2022 study in BMC, pregnancy and childbirth, found 30 to 45% of births in urban private hospitals were surgical. And then you come here in Kenya. Kenya's national C-section rate now stands at about 16%, nearly double what it was a decade ago. So in short, we are actually having double C-sections or CS births than we did 10 years ago. That is actually shocking. So yes, C-sections save lives when they are needed, but when almost half of them are not, we have to ask whose interests are really being served here, because we gotta ask these important questions. But before we even answer, I'm gonna take you back to our history, because sometimes when I come here, I want to remind you what our ancestors used to do. Before hospitals and the whole white courts defined childbirth, African women relied on their own systems, and they worked. In many communities, birth was guided by traditional midwives known by different names across the continent.
To Iwaton's mother, Iwaton has been being open about her mom being a maiden wife, a maiden woman. I always call them the always there's how we call them in Swahili, so it sounds way better. But shout out to her mom. She's actually said that her and her siblings have it's her mom who gave birth to them individually. She didn't have any help, and if maybe any help of people who are taking care of her, because after a woman gives birth, there's always some those helps that she needs, here and there, especially like moving around and all that. But for her mom, she individually did everything herself.
If you're watching this from Tanzania, you guys, you called them Nyampara.
We call them Wakongwe. I think Wakongwe. So I don't know. She called them Nyampara, but we Wakongwe.
If you're also watching this from Uganda, you called them Omusawo. Okay. In Kikuyu, they were called Mwenyenyaku, and also in Swahili, they are known as Mwanamawe, right?
Okay. I don't know about Mwanamawe. That is more deep, but Wakongwe too.
These women understood childbirth not just as a medical event, but also a spiritual and communal process. And I wish we get one who still does that. And if you guys know one, please refer them to me, because I would really want to have a conversation with traditional, midwives. And one of the best things that these women, incredible women, did, they used herbal remedies to ease labor pains, warm compresses to stimulate contractions, and massages to help reposition the baby naturally. Complications were rare, and when they occurred, elders knew when to intervene or when to send help. Have this conversation with maybe your parents and ask them, how are you born? How was the process like? Or even if your grandmother is still alive, just have this conversation with them. So maybe they can also talk to you about some of the herbal medicines they used. I know we are going to have a whole conversation on our herbal medicine, but it's a good time for you to start that conversation with your loved ones at home. According to a 2019 report by the World Health Organization, WHO, and UNFPA, traditional birth attendants handled more than 60% of rural deliveries across sub-Saharan Africa before the 1980s. Are we together? So we cannot sit here and say the way our ancestors did it was wrong. Even WHO is able to admit that what our ancestors were doing or our great-grandparents were doing actually worked. But again, as colonial governments and missionary hospitals expanded, this indigenous system was branded as what? Unsafe and unscientific.
Thousands of years when you were giving birth. It's absolutely crazy. Keep it short.
We can't hear
You
we
can't hear
can't
me?
hear you. No, you sound like I told you sound like you're in a tank of water. We can't hear you. What's he saying? I can't hear you.
All right, go ahead, damn it.
Scientific. So what we are bringing you guys is what is safe. What you guys have been practicing for a long time is primitive, unsafe, and what? Unscientific. And the shift was not just medical, it was also cultural. Women were told that giving birth in a hospital was the only modern and respectable choice. And us as Africans, we've normalized leaving the things that used to benefit us and going straight to something that is being called safe and modern without even questioning it, right? So by the 1990s, most African governments had officially phased out or restricted traditional midwives. They replaced them with state-certified nurses who are trained under Western models of medicine. And that decision, while aimed at reducing maternal deaths, also erased centuries of local knowledge about pregnancy and natural birth. Like sometimes, I don't know if I'm the only one, but don't you miss those instances where you would see it, as a community? And I don't know, I honestly miss those moments when we as Africans would sit in a very communal way.
I know you sit in a circle. It used to be you sit in a circle, you educate each other, knowledge is passed, stories are told, you're told the real facts. It used to be there. Leave alone, when I talk about real facts, not really about the colonial system, but about who we are as a people, how we live and all that. But Today it's completely gone.
And just brainstorm and do our own two activities, you know. So anyways, in erasing all these things, obviously it handed over the control of childbirth, once a communal affair, to institutions and profit-driven systems. At first, I know this looks like progress. Indio, hospitals are cleaner, equipment are available, and doctors are better trained. But over the years, childbirth stopped being a community process and became a medical procedure that is now being managed by institutions. And with time, the focus shifted from care to convenience, from women to systems. Who cares about women anymore, you know? And in some cases, from health to business. I'm quoting a lot of sources today because I want you to go and dig deeper for yourself. So I'm going to go to another one here. A joint data from UNICEF, World Health Organization, and UNFPA, and also the World Bank. This is one in 2023. It states, there is a research here that states the fastest rise in C-section births is among urban middle-income women, particularly in private hospitals across sub-Saharan Africa. So middle-class hapa, they are the ones who prefer this method, you know, the C-section method, and this is data proven. And many choose or accept surgery because they are told by their gynaes or their doctors, you know, this is safe. And then you go to rural areas, women are still struggling to get a C-section, even when their lives depend on it. And that is the crisis we are now confronting. Childbirth in Africa is both a medical achievement and a growing business sector. Once childbirth became centralized in hospitals, it also entered the economy. Every delivery now has a cost. Consultation, theater fees, anesthesia, hospital stay, and the
It's crazy because, hey man, Africa is corrupt. Oh my god! So you get into the hospital, you pay the reception to see the doctor. You get to the doctor, he tells you need to pay another fee for you to do this. Then you go give birth. You have to you again pay the bill of the hospital after giving birth and all that. What? Like, when does this end? This is crazy. I love the young person. This young guy. I've been listening to his videos on Instagram. He's been talking about politics all over Africa, and he's like, man, we can't keep on living like this. You'll be stupid for you to just be accepting, especially this generation and the next coming generation. We can't keep on living like this. Things are not working, and yet they're supposed to be working. People are just corrupt. People are just stealing. There's no maintenance of the country. There's no sanitation. Like, things are just everywhere. What? No way. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Cost rises sharply when you are going through a C-section. Across many African countries, a cesarean birth can cost 3 to 5 times more than a natural birth.
Imagine.
And for hospitals, this difference matters. C-sections are faster to schedule. They bring in more revenue.
They consider you very special. Oh my God. They treat you special too. Somehow. I don't know. And especially they treat you special. In these government hospitals, maybe private hospital, that is a norm. Because if you can afford a private hospital, you know, you got some money. You're okay for you to go for a C-section in a private hospital. But at public hospitals, these are the people who are not paid by the government. So literally getting that, oh yeah, you bring the bread. Oh, you know, very quickly, she's in labor very quickly. And the other women who are lined up there, nurses are not even giving a shit about them. It's crazy.
And they allow staff to plan their shifts. A normal birth might take 12 or even 20 hours.
Exactly.
Have you heard those people who tell you they went through a normal birth and the child came after even 28 hours?
Yes.
And now if we need money and we know through CS we are going to get a lot of money, who has time waiting for you 28 hours to do what?
Nobody.
Something that through a CS is usually completed within a few hours. No. Several studies, including one published in the British Medical Journal, note that private facilities in low and middle income countries often perform elective or non-urgent C-sections, mainly for financial convenience. So next time you sit with your doctor and they are telling you need to go through a CS, Ebu, look at your insurance. How does that look like? Because insurance systems here, they play a role. when you go back to South Africa, medical aid plans cover surgical births more readily than natural ones. And hospitals are reimbursed at higher rates for operations. And this has created what researchers at the University of Cape Town describe as a structural incentive, right, for doctors to recommend surgery, even in low-risk pregnancy. So when you have some women here choosing the procedure out of fear, pain, or post-trauma, many others are guided there by a healthcare system that earns more when they are on the operating table. So whose interest is this really serving? And the real cost of this rise in C-section is not just money, it is also health. C-sections save lives when they are needed. We are clear on that. But they can also create serious problems.
Exactly. It should be when they're needed, but now again, like you said, it's become a business. So they just, tell you, or they you go see a doctor. Then some few minutes is like, oh, this one we're gonna have to put you on just some to get money out of you. It's crazy.
When done unnecessarily. Remember, this is a major surgery. It involves cutting through several layers of the body, the skin, muscle, uterus, to remove the baby. Evidence summarized in PLOS Medicine in 2018, also cited in World Health Organization maternal health reviews, show that women who undergo CS delivery without medical need are about 3 times more likely to face severe complications, including heavy bleeding, infection, and blood clots, compared to those who deliver naturally. And the African Centers for Disease Control, that is ACDC, also did a research, and they found out, that is in 2022, putting all these links for you guys at the description. They found out that infections after surgery are now one of the top causes of illness among mothers in Africa.
Because number one, they don't what is it called? They don't do the cover up well. I don't know how it's called. I don't know why the name just disappeared. But they don't do the cover up. The what? It's called the what? Yes.
Does it sound like I'm underwater?
It still sound like you're in the water, but a little bit better. It's like now you're still in the tank, but on top, not in the water.
All right. What I'm saying is that you've adopted people that just learn medicine and they're psychopathic. They've never had any real medicine in the West. It's always been about a profit margin. So nothing they've ever done has cured anything, has fixed anything. Everything they've done makes everything worse. The few things that they got from African people called the Moors, because white people, even when they invaded Africa, didn't even wash their hands. They didn't believe in washing their hands when they touched the body. It would cause all kind of bacteria and diseases. But like I said, some African mind of children. They trusted these white people. It's crazy. Syrian sections are dangerous. You should never even get them. You don't need them. The natural ways of giving birth were better. The African way, when you supposed, like Joby said, you're supposed to squat. If you have somebody tell you that your ways are primitive, you've been giving birth before these people even got on the planet for thousands of years. You're the planet. How could your ways be wrong and backwards? Well, that would be a lie. But it's crazy. Africans just give up everything about just adopt anybody's shit. You're the oldest people on the planet. It's just crazy to me.
Please, but it has happened. It is crazy, but it happened, and you can see now the long effect of it, of us accepting this, and like she said, without questioning, because we've been very comfortable with these systems, how things don't work. If things work wrongly, no one is held accountable, and we go back to our comfort zone because they're their excellency, so nobody touches them. Those ones, you just leave them alone, let them do what they want. Yeah. Until when? Because like she's saying, most of the CS, number one, as much as, leave alone the expensiveness, most of the people doing this are crooked doctors, the quack doctors we discussed some time back. Quack doctors who open up some quack hospitals, they are quacking everything, and then they end up, after you get a CS, there's a case of a woman who after the CS, she discovered, I think after a year or something, because the wound started like, smelling, and she started feeling pain. Then when they went to cut her up to see what's wrong, they had left her scissors there. Can you make that make sense? They had left her scissors. This is a year later, literally. She started feeling like, now something is wrong, because when the wound is still painful, you might be feeling that pain, so you just assume it's just the pain. But it continued. So she went to the hospital back. She's like, nah, this is the pain. Only to find they forgot her scissors there. Talk about the quack doctors. So it's crazy, yes, that we've accepted all these things and without even questioning. And the fact that no one is held accountable, it's more crazy.
Is after the CS surgery. And there's also the issue of repeat surgeries. When a woman has more than one C-section, scar tissue builds up around the womb, and that makes future pregnancies riskier and can also cause life-threatening conditions like uterine rupture, etc., etc. Anyways, guys, maybe I want to hear from someone who has gone through this and tell us what were the pros and cons, and what are they experiencing right now. Let's go back to our research. A World Health Organization supported Lancet Global Health study in 2021 found that women who had 3 or more previous C-sections were almost 5 times more likely to experience serious complications such as uterine rupture or heavy bleeding. And also they are bound to require emergency surgical care in later pregnancies. And recovery time is another concern. Women who deliver by C-section usually stay in hospital twice as long and may take even weeks or months to heal fully. Pain, limited movement, and delayed breastfeeding are also common. So, while C-sections are sometimes the only way to save a life, they come with risks that are often ignored when surgery becomes routine instead of necessary. Governments and health agencies across Africa are starting to recognize that the rise in C-sections need closer monitoring. The World Health Organization has urged countries to carry out what it calls C-section audits, routine checks to confirm whether each surgery was medically necessary or not. And these audits are meant to keep hospitals accountable and protect women from unnecessary procedures. A lot of middle-class women who prefer C-sections also believe that natural birth will somehow, what I'm about to say, will ruin the body, especially down there, that it will make them less attractive.
That's crazy, because I also don't understand that mindset when it comes to women. Or there are women who have also now have that mindset of, if you do this, I'm going to become unattractive to my husband. He won't like me anymore. Then that is not your husband. You're married to the wrong person. That is just the truth. Being
Exactly, Kobe.
being an adult, your husband should be able to understand when you give birth naturally, of course, there's time for healing, unless you're dealing with someone who can't even sexually control themselves. How do you just wanna? Because there are women who have actually, there's a woman who got cardiac arrest and I think died after some few, when she got in the hospital. I can't remember the whole story, but she had just given birth 2 days. Then the man forced himself on her here in Kenya, and he was arrested. And the woman literally, I think she was paralyzed or got a cardiac arrest. One of the two, either paralyzed or got a cardiac arrest. One of the two. I saw the story on TikTok. Unless you're married to such an animal who won't even give you time for healing, wants to just sleep with you after giving birth, what? Then I don't know
Wow,
what you
that's
do.
crazy.
Exactly, because someone who's an adult and a man who's ready to become a father and a husband is going to understand this happens. He's supposed to be there for you emotionally. Again, this is what a spouse or a supporting partner who's going to help you through postmortem depression, probably, if you're going to get any. But that happens if you don't have any support, especially from your spouse. So you're married to a baby. Sadly, most of our African women are also married to kid-like men. And that is just the truth. Men who are not ready to be husbands and wives. They're just moving with the societal norms. Or I have a house that they were at home. I have children at home. But that title doesn't even belong to you. You don't even look good wearing it. It's not for you. So please, even for those who are out there, stop just giving women pregnancy or wrap that shit up. Please, wrap that shit up. I keep on saying it. If you're not ready to become a parent, even to the women, Stop messing, and then you start blaming people here for your own none of critical thinking. Crazy.
Or affect their sex life. It's one of the most common fears you will hear whispered in maternity wards and also online groups or chats. But here's the truth. Medical research has been very clear. Natural births do not ruin a woman's body or her sexual function. The British Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology looked at data from over 15,000 women and found no long-term difference in sexual satisfaction between those who gave birth naturally and those who had C-sections. Both groups experienced temporary changes like soreness or dryness, in the first few months after delivery, but these healed with time. So you gotta take time, you gotta take a bit of rest, and pelvic floor exercises. And doctor says that what really affects sexual satisfaction is not the mode of birth, it's emotional connection, hormonal balance, and overall health. So let no one lie to you that if you give birth naturally, it is going to affect some things down there. There is a research that has been conducted, and that is why today I'm heavy on facts, so that you guys can go through those articles or those releases or those research or those reports for yourself. So while we are here saying, vaginal delivery can sometimes cause short-term stretching or small tears, the idea that it permanently damages a woman's body or sex life is a myth. That is not a medical fact. It is a fear that has been repeated so many times that people have started to believe it. And it's one of the reasons many women are choosing surgery when they don't actually need it. So maybe the real question is not just around birth. It's also about power. We have to ask, who are the people who are making these decisions? Who are the people that are lying to you? Who benefits from these decisions and who pays the price? Because a system that is going to cut too many women wide open in cities while letting others die in villages is not balanced. It is a very broken system. Africa does not need to choose between traditional and technology. It needs to combine both to remember what worked, fix what doesn't, and return birth to where it belongs, in the
Try that. They'll tell you it's witchcraft. Witchcraft.
hands of women, not systems. And I hope we advocate more for that. I hope we advocate for the return of traditional midwives. I hope we actually advocate for the C-section audits so that we can be able to look at Kenya and say, this year, Kenya has conducted 6,000 C-sections. How many of them were medically justified? Or is this just a case of insurance, kuna pesa mob sana kwa C-section? But I'm here and I want to hear your views on the same. Clearly, there are so many researches and there are so many articles that have been written about these things. And also, it's a very lucrative industry, especially when you combine hospitals, insurance, and CS. So if you are torn between CS and natural birth, just dig deeper first by yourself, because at the end of the day, I think we are living.
I feel like also something else again, because of just being in this system that was created and we didn't question, we abandoned traditional ways of living and everything. I feel like something that women don't do, because I remember back then, I don't know how personally also have the knowledge, but I just know I have it in my head because I've not experienced none of this, being honest. I've not been close to a middle woman. I've never observed it myself, but I've had them from the village when I used to live in the village. I've not seen most of these traditional practices, but I have information about it. I've not seen any of it, but I have information about it. And if literally maybe if I can practice more, go back to.
It's called ancestral memory, because you're never
Mhm.
you have ancestral memory.
You're still in the tank of water. You're still in that tank of water. But anyway, yeah, I'm saying something that, because remember back then, most of the women could, go to elderly women. Let's say, like for me, if I get pregnant right now, I'm gonna be a first time mom, and I don't know what to do. There are things I don't know what to do when I'm feeling some type of way. I don't know if I'm supposed to, if I'm okay, if the baby is okay. So you could go to elderly women, these middle women, or even the elder women could be your great grandma, your great grandma, and they help you with information. You'd seek much more. It's just, I'd say more with, it's like the clinic checkup, but kind of more different because, like she said, there's the massaging, there's the soothing of the back, which also helps you in the long process of those 9 months. But today, women are giving birth. You're told you're gonna start clinic at this time. You're not even asking, why am I going for clinic? Why do women go for clinic? What are we checking on? Why are we checking on the baby? Why are you checking on me? The questions, because me personally, those are the things I'm gonna ask. I need to understand, why do women go to clinic? I don't know a goddamn thing. I don't know what happens. Of course, it's for checker, but what are you checking? What are you checking? Is there any complications? Is there, because pregnancy is supposed to be smooth. It is supposed to be smooth, not with any complications. And then again, the diet you also eat, it goes back to also the diet you're eating. There are women when pregnant, they are junkies. They eat this way you give birth to a baby who has like more kgs, and with that also this can lead to the CS. This is now where maybe the CS can be, it's gonna lead you to, because maybe your penetration or whatever cannot allow the baby to come out through there, so you're gonna have to perform a CS on you. The diet you eat is very, very important. You have to avoid junks. You need the baby also healthy, not, you need yourself healthy. There may be also more other natural complications, like say, like the leg swelling. There are women who swell their legs. There are women who their backs hurt so much. It's different. So if only we can go back, like she said, to going back to ourselves and understanding what we're doing, understanding. Critical thinking should apply. Understand what you're doing. Don't just do because the society requires you at this age, give birth, get married, and that's it. It's like someone else telling me, oh, yeah, that's why you're not married. Is that a priority in this life? That's not a priority in this life. The priority in this life is to be successful before you even you get married. Because get broke with that partner and you see how they're gonna act. Shout out to the woman who has been educating people like that. Get married to your spouses and you'll see who their true colors are when there's no money in the table. Get married to someone and you'll know their true colors once you give birth. Whether a woman or a man. So I wish we can go back to our traditional ways of living and help ourselves, because that helps our lives. But yes, as I literally wind up with today's conversation, we're going to wind up with this conversation of what is happening in Sudan, where British weapons were discovered in Sudan. And of course, we know these are people who are funding, of course, this war. So I'm not surprised. But they're saying new evidence has emerged showing the British-made military equipment being used by the Rapid Support Forces.
Hold on. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead. Let me get my earpiece on so you can hear me better.
Okay. New evidence has emerged showing British-made military equipment being used by the Rapid Support Forces, that is the RSF, in Sudan, and has sparked serious questions about the UK's arms export controls and its potential complicity in the conflict. Dossiers represented to the United Nations Security Council revealed that components such as small arms training system and engines for armored vehicles manufactured in the UK were found in RSF held territory. And these revelations are particularly troubling because they link UK authorities' export to a militia accused by international watchdogs of genocide and widespread war crimes. The equipment appears to have passed through the United Arab Emirates, a state previously identified as a conduct for arms transfer to banned groups. And the human rights organization have criticized the UK government, arguing that
How about now? Can you hear me now?
now you sound alive. Welcome back.
I was drowning. I was drowning giving birth.
Oh God, oh my God. Anyway, yeah, we're talking about the British weapons that were found in Sudan. This is
Well, I understand. I understand. It's not the British that sold them. Then, so you have an ongoing genocide right now. Because that's what I told you. Don't ever talk about no Palestine nonsense to me. I told you, there's more genocides always in Africa. They get no coverage and no one gives a shit. People talking about Palestine, Gaza. They're not talking about Sudan. They're not talking about Congo, which is 10 times worse. So right now you have those weapons were bought by the UAE. Oh, you morons want to go to Dubai and you understand these people never liked you. They're in Sudan causing a genocide because they're trying to steal land and resources. Because I told you, the Arabs don't have any land or resources. But you worship them because you believe in their goofy religion. So instead of you fight for Africa, I told you this religion is so damn dangerous to African people. You support your enemies because you're the same religion who don't give a shit about you because you're African. You Christians support white Christians, and you black Arabs, you black Muslims support white Arabs who both hate us. And so they're in it committing all kind of atrocities. You haven't heard nowhere. Where's the UN at? Where's everybody else at? Where's the AU at? They're going literally door to door killing men, women, and children right now in the Sudan because those are the black ones. They're black. They're Africans. They're murdering them. Oh, where's this fake ass AU at? Why this supposed to be open war on Dubai and Abu Dhabi and the Emirates? Because everybody knows they're the ones doing it. They're the ones trying to steal them, stealing your gold and your oil because they don't have any resources. Ain't it funny? For 1,000 years now, since you lost control of Africa, these people have been robbing and stealing from you and killing you. And you've accepted all their goofy fake ass religions. So it's the UAE bought those weapons from Britain. Now, I'm not saying Britain didn't know what they were going to be used for. Of course they did. Because the dumbass Arab doesn't make any good weapons. He's a moron too, like the Africans. But he's their white cousin. So the British sold those weapons to the UAE, who fund them into that whatever that group is called that they're backing in the Sudan. That's killing African people, just murdering people. Oh, but you hear nothing about that nowhere. Nowhere. But you want to keep telling me about Palestine every other day. Palestine, Palestine, Palestine. I told you, black lives are never worth anything because you're black. And the whole deal was always to steal all of Africa from African people. And that's why you never taught that your ancestors, that's why you still got part of Africa that you got today. Because your ancestors had to fight to keep it. But they're not going to stop trying to get it. That's the dirty secret. You know, you've been fucked up with fake religions. They're not going to stop trying to get the land that has the resources for their people to live good and you to live impoverished. They're not going to stop that. And these goofy ass black Muslims, I will not do anything for another African because he's not my brother in Islam. Islam and all that stupid ass shit. Or another dumb ass nigga in Africa tell you never said about the Muslim. He's not my brother in Christ. What?
Yeah. Yeah, all the countries mentioned are all to be blamed. They should be literally even British is on the wrong. Literally, all the countries involved in the because I think a video you shared with me or someone shared it on TikTok. They're killing 2,000 Sudanese in less than 2-3 hours, something like that.
Yep. The genocide. It's open genocide going on right now in Sudan. You know the UAE's behind it. None of these goofy African countries are doing anything about it because you don't have real militaries. You don't have real militaries. Even Terrain and them fighting. And Mali's under attack right now. You got terrorists running around Mali just crazy. So they got to, because they want Mali back. Niger and Burkina Faso better go help Mali or it will fall. See, they never stop. You're going to have to wipe out these terrorists. You're going to have to wipe out these other people. Africa, but you can't because all your leaders are all puppets.
And the tribalism.
And the tribalism.
Yeah. But I hope the Niger and Burkina Faso literally, because being a one alliance, they should be able to intervene and help.
Yeah, exactly. Mali, because Mali's under severe attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I saw the US telling the citizens to be careful in the country. And
no, tell them to get the hell out. Now, tell them to get the hell out.
Yeah, the same people causing again Hegelian dialectic. They're the same causing problems. Oh, now we have jihadists. We don't know.
Exactly.
But anyway, family, much love of yourselves. A beautiful day that has been my time right here with you. I see Ansankeron in the building. Karibu Sana. Joby say Ansankeron says Joby they amputate the wrong leg here at Tampa General Hospital.
The hospital. Yeah. That's those are public hospitals. Yeah, so they get shit wrong. They amputate the wrong leg. You might have to get something amputated. They do the wrong leg. Once your leg is done, they can't put it back.
Damn, that's crazy. I'm suing you. Yeah. I'm suing you and you're suing me. I don't know. I can't get my leg back, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
you
get
can
some
sue.
money.
You can sue.
I can get some money and buy me another leg. There's a
Yeah,
difference. But
yeah,
anyway,
you buy yourself a robot leg. That's right. You can sue, son.
yeah, much love, family. Have yourselves a beautiful day. Catch up with us later on the reaction time. Myself, Shmani, and Kamlesh, and of course, Iwaton and Shmani are coming back on the radio and on the network with the BHFN countdown. Later tonight, you have me on the Culture Show. Remember to come and request your jumps. Don't listen to kids
Good good
for your
luck
own
with that.
sake.
Good luck.
That is for
Good
your own
good
sake.
good luck. Good luck. Good luck with that.
For your own sake, do not listen
Joby,
to
Joby gets in her own zone and plays for herself. she's not like the she's not like the regular other she's not like the regular other TikTok DJs. Joby gets in her own zone and plays for herself.
Oh,
And
that's a lie.
sorry to you island and you Jamaicans talking that shit again about African Americans. I had to go to YouTube. I had to go to TikTok and give you that work. Keep your goddamn names out. Keep our names out your fucking mouth.